they'll never be as good as me. We won't let them integrate. We must always segregate. Keep me their race. Nigger, nigger, tell them lies. Black face and bloodshot eyes. Crooked toe and crooked nose. That's the way a nigger goes.
You'll knock my hat off.
You gotta have a drink.
White power!
Turn to your left. If you put your hand out, feel the fence. To your left. Wash it in. To your right, Linda. Are you a white, non-Jewish American citizen?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you believe in the Constitution of the United States?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you in favor of a white man's government in this country?
Yes.
Do you believe in the right of free men to rebel against government tyranny?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you believe in racial separation?
Yes.
Yes.
The prime purpose of our movement is to advance our great race. This is a serious undertaking. Be assured that he who puts his hands to the robe of the Klan and looks back is not fit for citizenship in our racial community or the fellowship of fellow Klansmen. Do you wish to retire?
No.
I will now administer our sacred oath to you. It is a long and solemn oath, so be prepared for it. You will now cease recording.
The date is 1977. The place is El Cajon, California. This is the trailer home of George Willis, Klan leader in San Diego County. In order to film this secret initiation ceremony, we had to stop recording sound during the oath while the initiates pledged to obey Klan laws. This is the ceremony used by the Klan since 1866.
By the authority invested in me, I now declare and proclaim you a citizen of the Invisible Empire, Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, and invest you with the title of Klansman, the most honorable title among white men. Congratulations.
This is the official handshake, 2 fingers extended. Anyone ever shakes hands with that? Like that, don't you?
Well, I've been wanting to join for quite a while.
I feel fantastic.
Got a lot of load off my mind.
I get that boost, that power. For real. It's not just for, out on a picnic or something. It's for real. It's that white power. I like it.
White power! White power! White power! White power! White power! White power!
I believe that the minority groups right now are not only taking our jobs, but, well, they're taking a lot of the white out of us.
White power!
If you could change one thing about the way things are going in the United States, what would that one thing be?
Do you want the truth?
I want the truth.
Ship all the niggers out.
What's the Klan going to do for your life?
Help it, I hope. Make it stronger. Give me more of, something to believe in, hoping that things are going to be changing.
The American white people are searching and are reaching out for a movement to carry forth their ideals and their values, the dreams that they carry in their hearts. And the Ku Klux Klan is that movement.
David Duke, born in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1950, educated at Louisiana State. He became a member of the Louisiana-based Knights of the KKK in the early 70s. In 74, he became Imperial Wizard and National Director of this Klan, which is estimated to have about 1,000 members nationwide. In 75, Duke ran for the Louisiana State Senate as an avowed Klansman.
We need a voice for our heritage, ideals, and interests. It's only fair if things are to be evened up a bit.
We do need a real voice for the majority. Let's elect David Duke, Senator, District 16.
Oh, I think he's the greatest. They don't come any better. He's great in every way. And if he loses, it'll be a crying shame, believe me.
We're one plant, only 15
Duke plans his strategy with campaign manager Tom Metzger. They used the media carefully in the campaign, and Duke went directly to the people with his Klan message.
I think two guys will cover it. All right, let's just forget everything I said about the other and follow this up here.
We believe very strongly that what's happened in this country is that the minorities, by the fact that they stick together, have been able to wield tremendous power in terms of our government. One result of this power, for instance, is the reverse discrimination going on against white people in employment, jobs, scholarships, and we believe that it's time that the white majority, the people that built this country and created our civilization and our Constitution and our ideals, that they again become masters of their own destiny.
David Duke, I appreciate you doing it on Saturday. Your voice was
I believe that the Klan, through political activities and social functions and things like this, that Erica can be raised right. I want her to, be well educated, and I want her to have, see all sides, which through Klan work and the materials that we have available, we do see, both sides of the issue.
What about the violent reputation of the Klan?
Well, a lot of organizations have a violent reputation.
And the Ku Klux Klan rose up, and it gave the Southern governments back to the Southern people. And it made it possible that we are standing here tonight as white people. We wouldn't even have our race down here if it was not for the Ku Klux Klan. We're going to get to the point where the white people in this country are going to be masters of their own destiny again. And all the work and all the effort they can put against us and put on us is not going to affect us. We're going to stand proudly and honestly and courageously, and we're not going to stop until we win. Thank you.
Duke lost the state Senate race to a strong incumbent. However, he received over 11,000 votes, 1/3 of all votes cast in a well-educated urban district.
The Klan is becoming a political organization. We're becoming a political movement.
This isn't our goal in life to win the state Senate position. That's just a small beginning.
What do you hope to do?
Well, we hope to eventually become the people that are running the government of the country.
Between 1920 and 1930, there was only one Klan in America, and it had clout. Klan membership peaked in '23 at 9 million. 1 out of every 8 American men, including governors, senators, mayors, and sheriffs. Gaudy ceremonial regalia, mass initiations, and cross burnings guaranteed media coverage. Propaganda films and inflammatory rhetoric were used to organize Klan units across the country. Staggering inflation and unemployment were the issues used to draw in new recruits who could scapegoat their frustrations by blaming the Catholic immigrant and the Jewish financier. The Klan's tactics were violent. Anyone who was considered different could be branded an enemy of the Klan. Seen here is William Simmons, the man responsible for the rebirth of the Klan in 1915. When he died, he passed on the relics of the Klan and the rank of Imperial Wizard to this man.
Well, you're in the office of James R. Venable. I'm an attorney, 900 VFW Drive, Stone Mountain, Georgia. It's also, this part of the office is used to store away Klan literature and other things that's used by the Klan, such as pictures and so forth. I got in my hand now a picture made in 1922 at the base of Stone Mountain showing a Klan group there taking an oath. Colonel William Joseph Simmons gave them to me many years ago before he died.
What are all these fruits and vegetables down here, Mr. Venable?
These fruits and vegetables come from a state farmers market, in which we buy when we have this annual meeting here known as the National Klan Rally, which we have had for 46 years here at Stone Mountain. We feed them breakfast on Sunday morning. We also feed them their dinner meal at about 1, 2 o'clock on Sunday. Excuse me.
I'm right on the eggs. Do you pay for all this yourself?
Yes, I pay for all this myself, and while the members, most of them are officials or officers of the Klan, and some of the members of the family attend this.
Do you sometimes feel that you're putting out more than your share for the Klan?
Well, I'm sure I do, but I feel that I owe it to my God, my country, and to my family and friends, and to the Klan. This is another picture made in 1900. I believe this is made in 23, of the Imperial Board.
Venable lives in the past when the old Klan was powerful. Duke is in Chicago, hoping to build the power of the new Klan.
The primary reason why I'm in Chicago really is twofold. One is I've got a debate with Jesse Jackson this afternoon, and also we're organizing the forces of anti-busing here in Chicago with the Ku Klux Klan. We were instrumental, as you may already know, in organizing a lot of the opposition, the resistance to busing in Boston, in Louisville, Kentucky, and elsewhere around the country.
You claim to know that black students want to go to black schools. How do you know that if you haven't talked to any of the black students in Chicago who want to transfer to white schools?
From experience, sir. From experience.
Have you ever been in a school after there's been a racial fight?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Would you agree that the racial fight, in part, is sparked by racial attitudes? That is, black attitudes towards whites and white attitudes toward blacks?
Of course, yes.
Okay. Would you also agree that people going around who exploit that situation probably contribute to those fights in those schools? Would you agree with that?
No, sir, I wouldn't.
That people like you who go around exploiting it might be causing
No, sir, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because in every case that I know, I've experienced with around the country, where we've gone in and talked to the white students in the schools, talked to the community, and organized the white people.
You ever talked to black students?
They didn't have as much problem because the whites were organized, and then the black students knew then if they attacked the whites or they hurt the whites that they were going to get quite a good bit of resistance. And that's what these people...
Would you agree that the black students should get organized to defend themselves too?
Certainly. Of course, all people should defend their own kind, their own race.
What you're saying is that whites and blacks should be armed in schools that are integrated. Is that what you're saying?
They should be armed. You're putting words in my mouth.
What do you mean organized then? Explain that.
What I said is this, that busing is hurting the white and the black. It's causing violence because of the differences between the races, because they come from different environments.
Answer my question. What do you mean organized?
Questions.
Answer my question. You said whites should organize and they don't have trouble.
That's
what
right.
do you mean by that?
United. In other words, when the blacks know that they attack one white child, that the other whites will respond to it, that's when you have organization. And that's when you have less attacks, because they know then that they've got some pressure. Actually, they've already been on 100 and more than 100 television programs already this year.
Duke uses the talk show circuit to keep his image and message before a national audience. The controversy sparked by his Klan ideology makes good TV ratings, and he has often flown first class from Louisiana for appearances like this one with the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
On the news media and talking about how the blacks don't have enough jobs, not enough work. Well, you can pull open the newspaper for today, the Chicago Tribune. You can find lots of jobs available for unskilled people at good wages. The reason why that so many blacks are not working in the black community is not because the jobs aren't there, it's because they don't want to work, or they don't want to do they all want to be president of IBM.
Well, the fact of the matter is that blacks are numerically unemployed, disproportionate, because we've been disproportionately locked out of the job market. You must understand the same people who are called lazy are the same people who still sweep America's streets, the same people who still clean America's bathrooms, the same people who still clean the homes of white people.
I didn't say all black people were lazy, but I do say that a lot of black people have trouble adjusting to our type of economy, our type of technology, our type of culture.
And I think
it's not their fault. It's not ours either.
And some white people like you are really having problem adjusting. See, because we have the right to vote, you can adjust to that. And we have public accommodations, and you can adjust to that.
The white man today, he's the guy that's a second-class citizen in America today.
I cannot believe that white people feel so inferior until they are afraid to interrelate.
The Klan grew up in the 1860s and 70s.
But you're a junior Klansman, and you don't represent the big boys.
No, I do represent.
Like they burn crosses, they hang people, see, and they intimidate people, see. Look, see, you're a hippie Klansman. You've been wearing shirts and ties and trying to profile up and arguing with Jesse Jackson. But your forebears came out of a bag that was considerably more crude than where you coming from.
I wouldn't risk my life and my family's safety like I do unless I really believe in this thing very deep down in my soul.
Steve, let me
why I'm
say
in
something
this
before I
fight.
close. I want to say this to David. Blacks are not afraid of the Klan anymore. That's point one. They can wear hoods or wear suits. They can burn crosses or bear them. That's point one. We're not afraid. Second point is I'm convinced that neither race has a monopoly on human virtue.
I said a lot of things here. Now, people watching the television, they might think this is not true or he's not telling the truth. Well, if they agree with me or if they disagree with me, they could write to me and I'll supply the documents about what I've been talking about, with the American Revolution or the South or anything else. They could just write David Duke, Ku Klux Klan, Jefferson. I use the media the best that I can to promote my ideas and values.
After such appearances, Duke uses the hotel suite provided by the talk show host as a base of operations for organizing new Klan units. In a pasture at the base of Stone Mountain, Georgia, Imperial Wizard Venable prepares for his annual rally on the site originally used by William Simmons in 1915. Venable's Klan, the National Knights, was once the fountainhead of Klancraft. Today, there are dozens of rival clans in operation, since anyone can set himself up as a Klan leader and start collecting dues. David Duke's Klan is one such splinter group.
You'll get this thing going here in a minute. I don't like this southern brogue as these people got. See, these people in the South, when they go up north, them Yankees, they laugh at me with my southern brogue, and I laugh at them. First, you know, used to when they'd want you to, on the television interview, they'd want you to say Negro. Now they want to say black people, you know. The Negroes resented it.
What's your favorite word?
Well, I call them Negroes. Well, if I'm speaking, I call them Negroes, you know, and they don't like that now. They want you to call them black people. Well, we had them down here. If a white lady spoke to one, if he had a cap, he'd remove it. And he'd say, yes, ma'am. Never. And he'd come to your house, he'd go to the back door. He never did come to the front door. White, and they'd say, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, and everything. Now, hell, they call these white girls where they work Susie, Annie, Betty, you know, by the first name. It's terrible. I wasn't taught that. I call the old ones, the old colored people now, Uncle and Aunt. I was taught that. Of course, I'm raised here in the South, and that's what I was taught, you know, niggers, you know.
There's a lot of similarities.
This is Tom Metzger, a Klan organizer who avoids cross burnings in favor of recruiting meetings like this one in Long Beach, California.
I don't want anybody to be confused. You hear this Klan, that Klan. This is the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. My name is Tom Metzger. I'm the state organizer. Our national leader is David Duke. And if people want to be in another organization, if they think that's the way to go, as long as they're fighting for the white man, we're happy. Okay? We think we have a better product. We believe in self-defense. There's nobody in this organization that has to take second place when it comes to getting up and duking it out. Just because you see me with a suit on doesn't mean that we're afraid to get into that type of thing.
Metzger is Duke's California organizer. He feels he has legitimate reasons for having joined the Klan.
I was raised on a farm near a small town in Indiana. There was no black problem. There were no Jews in the community. My first contact with the minorities came with the blacks when I went into the Army in 1956. And it became pretty obvious that there was a definite difference between the races after being close to them. I came to California in the early 60s. I was very depressed about the inroads of the communists in this country. I was searching out different organizations. I saw the John Birch Society, and a lot of things that they said made sense. And so I became a Birch Society member. I believe in activism. The Birch Society took the position that it was stupid to be active. You're just supposed to read books and somehow magically, I don't know, maybe if you throw enough books at somebody, you might hit them and they'll quit what they're doing. Now, my beliefs, Christian-wise, is that the people you know of today as Jews have absolutely no inheritance whatsoever in the Bible. I'm tired of worrying about the Jew. He's given us World War I, World War II, the Russian Revolution, the French Revolution. They are a parasite people, and they are counter to our culture. And all the races would be better off with them out of their hair, okay? So send them to Israel, first class. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the
Metzger
Lord.
and his wife joined the Klan when Duke opened membership to Catholics and to women. Dennis Campbell, military attaché, was a Klan organizer in the Marine Corps. Kathy Metzger, Klan state secretary, helps her husband with his work, as do their children.
Will I satisfy him and show him my salvation? Amen. All right, gang, dig in.
I suppose we can't mess the cheese up on top of it.
No, you have to get to the bottom.
This is a real farmhouse table, guys. They are taught about race all the time.
We do like our children to be around other children whose parents feel the same way that they do.
You know, a lot of people think we hate the blacks. We don't hate them, we just don't care for them, you know. They don't care for us usually. But we do hate the Jews and they hate us.
They have a mixed up baby like and don't think it's right.
Why not?
Because you're not supposed to marry white and black married. It's supposed to be black and white and white.
I believe a woman's place is in her home, with her children. And any extra work I don't do it out of a need to keep myself busy or to be in a career or anything. I do it because I'm doing it for my husband and for my race.
I look at myself and I think, okay, I'm young. I've taught myself how to fight. There isn't anything that I know of that I'm afraid of. I'll confront anybody on any subject. If they want to attack me, I can attack them just as much as they can attack me. And I stop and look at these people who can't do it. I can defend myself, they can't. So I am going to help them. In fact, I went to jail helping somebody.
Tell us about it.
Well, it was a funny situation. A person had trouble. I helped him out. There was no violence involved. I just told the person straight out, cut it out. Well, he didn't, and it ended up in a skirmish. Well, he got the raw end of the skirmish, and he wasn't satisfied. He wanted revenge. So it ended up, I spent a little time in the hospital, and basically, to a degree, it was ignorant on myself for doing it. But I was so frustrated, and a person is that ignorant that he cannot take a hint, cannot leave anybody alone that they don't even deserve to be around. And that's what I did. He's not around anymore. So that's basically the story right there. And I would do it again. Again and again.
So where's this guy now?
Well, he's got a tombstone. I believe in total self-defense. That's the whole basis behind it, is self-defense.
And if you think that living in the midst of a Negro culture or society is something that will elevate your child's mind, then you've got another thought coming. The Negro today is nothing more than an animal as he is living in our society, riding in the streets.
This is Robert Shelton, Imperial Wizard and National Director of the United Klans of America and the most notorious of all the Klan leaders in the 60s.
In the 60s, I think you had a lot of confusion. It kind of put the Klan back into the era of Reconstruction. You had the massive invasion of special trained interracial teams, black and white, that were coming into the South and creating these various problems in the community.
The 1954 Brown versus Board of Education decision and the 1964 Civil Rights Act resulted in court-ordered integration of schools and public facilities in the South. When integration began, the ranks of the Ku Klux Klan swelled with new members and extremism took over. The advent of black leaders like Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., with their tactics of peaceful demonstration and their commitment to nonviolence, gave the Klan an unarmed target.
It was only natural that people were going to strike out at something that they feared, and they certainly feared the infringements in their community of seeing outsiders coming in and breaking tradition, interfering with the free enterprise system. They were provoked.
Dozens of civil rights murders were attributed to the Klan, whose violence was sometimes aided by local law enforcement officials.
The committee's preliminary study indicates that shocking crimes are carried out by highly secret action groups within the Klan. These groups are known as knockout squads or holy terrors. If they are caught, the Klan usually denies any association with the crime.
This is Gary Thomas Rowe, who, until 1965, was Bobby Shelton's bodyguard and an informant for the FBI. He cannot reveal his identity because of the threat of Klan retaliation.
Well, the action groups, this is a group of people that has their own separate meetings after a normal meeting. I never at any time seen an average meeting where a lot of violence would be discussed or planned. This would go into a second meeting, into a private meeting for the security people or action squads.
What kind of weapons were used?
There was ball bats, clubs, shotguns, pistols, knives.
When they talk about lynching, they're reliving the past pages of history. This is the sensationalism that sells the news media. I don't know of any Negroes that have been lynched. I don't know of any white people that's been lynched.
How about shot?
I don't know of any person that has been shot by any member of this organization.
I've never been able to see, hear, or have any personal knowledge where Bobby himself physically would be involved. He made it a point not to be. So that if something come up, well, man, I wasn't there. You know, you can take your laymen, use your soldiers, and leave your generals alone.
There has never been a case of the United Klan killing any black man, white man, or lynching any Negroes.
How about Collie Leroy Wilkins?
Collie Leroy Wilkins was not sentenced or found guilty of killing anyone.
What it boiled down to was myself, Gene Thomas, Collie Leroy Wilkins, and E.O. Eaton all left Birmingham, proceeding up toward Montgomery to Freedom March. There was some discussion at nightfall that the march had broken up. We were all going to go back home. No, we're not going back home, baby bruh. I must have heard this phrase a dozen times. This is the greatest day of your life. We finally accepted you. You're in the big time now. So we drove around the block several times and out a little further, 2 or 3 blocks away. An automobile pulled over to the left. Glancing over, we saw that there was a white woman driving this automobile and a big, heavy-set black man sitting beside her. And he took over and started following the car. Gene Thomas passed the vehicle, got up beside it at one point, but she pulled away. The woman driving, she just pulled away faster. Finally, Leroy says, "Take him, goddammit, take him." Eaton says, "We got to get him. We got to get him." And Eaton looks at Gene Thomas, says, "Hand me my gun." And Wilkins rolled his window down. Before he got just about side of it, just maybe 6 inches away from being almost side by side, he started shooting into Vala Luzio's side of the car, the woman driver. The first shot that fired hit that window, did not penetrate it completely. It just shattered it all over. To this day, my dying day, the woman looked over at us, And it appeared to me like she let out a loud scream. Her mouth flew open. It was a ghastly sight. I just immediately just saw blood just splatter toward her head and run down her face. And Wilkins slapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Goddamn, big bro. Goddamn, I'm one fucking hell of a shot." He said, "Both them bastards are dead."
Arrests were made a few minutes ago of 4 Ku Klux Klan members in Birmingham, Alabama, charging them with conspiracy to violate the civil rights of the murdered woman. Men and women have stood against the Klan at times and at places where to do so required a continuous act of courage. So if Klansmen hear my voice today, let it be both an appeal and a warning to get out of the Ku Klux Klan now and return to a decent society before it is too late.
In 1977, 2 former Mississippi Klan leaders, E.L. McDaniels, ex-Grand Dragon of the United Klans of America, and his treasurer, L.C. Murray, met here with Mayor Charles Evers in Fayette, Mississippi. They met at our request. All have changed a great deal in the last decade. Mayor Evers, brother of Medgar, became the first black elected to public office in Mississippi. Since McDaniels and Murray left the Klan, they have joined with the mayor in his fight for civil rights.
And these here 2 men were my strongest enemies, and I have no question about that. I was their strongest enemy. And we used to fight in the streets together. We used to fight each other, we used to harass each other, and intimidate each other. And I don't know what happened to all the 3 of us, but I think somewhere along the line we realized that we were the same kind of folk.
I have been out of the Klan since September the 6th, 1966. I have had several calls, many calls I might add, over the years, wanting me to come back into Klan, organize Klan, and I have turned them down each time. I personally do not think it's time for the Klan.
What is it?
Goodyear.
Goodyear,
Yeah.
you were there?
Yeah. No, I wasn't. I was at the office.
Yeah, was there running?
I
was sick.
got
Was sick in the morning.
I was there running.
Oh, he was right. He was right. He's directing. He's pointing at me, And came
I was at the office. The state office was down on.
And we were fighting all up and down the street, Blake was
going through the glass
flying.
When McDaniels was Grand Dragon, the Mississippi Klans boasted 80,000 members.
We might well be honest. At that time, I joined the Klan because I felt that integration was wrong.
My 4 children will never go to school with these goatee black African jungle bunnies as long as I'm walking on my 2 feet.
But people didn't know how or what to do. And so the Klan come into existence and the people flocked to it.
In other words, the Klan had to answer all of the poor white people's problems.
Right.
The Klan.
That's exactly right. Like the NAACP was to solve all the problems of the black. Well, it wasn't no way that the NAACP could solve all problems. Neither could the Klan solve all problems. Maybe if we'd got together back then, we could have solved the problem.
But
I don't know.
The difference was that the NAACP meant the advancement of people and not the denial.
Right.
Or the Klan meant to deprive.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have never heard me, before an audience or in secret, advocating or condone violence in any way. But is it violence when our communities are jeopardized by such sex-crazed, idiotic mobs as the Deacons or the NAACP, COFO, SNCC, or LOCO, whatever you call them?
The word Klans meant to harass, intimidate, and actually destroy anything that's different. Ku Klux Klan stood for violence, for murder, for all the inhuman things. As they used to ride, the night riders, they ride at night and burn schools and all that kind of silly stuff they used to do.
Well, you go back to 1866 in Pulaski, Tennessee, when the Klan was organized, it was to harass and intimidate the blacks.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
One thing I can say for every white man that dies at the hand of these filthy mobs, there are going to be hundreds of those no good, goatee-looking African jungle bunnies that's going to go down in the street.
I was confused along with a lot of others. I think the people have been educated. I'm speaking of Mississippi now. I think the people have been educated in the state over the past years and seen the progress that's been made by just Mayor Evers and I and Lane being friends and many other Klan people that are his friends, that I think that the Klan won't go in Mississippi. I think they have a hard time organizing. I tell Mr. Duke the same thing, that I don't think that the time is for the Klan now, and I don't foresee any time that the Klan in our lifetime would be beneficial.
David Duke thinks this is the time for the Klan. This storefront in Metairie, Louisiana, is Duke's national headquarters. Duke has only a handful of followers compared to Robert Shelton, the strongest Klan leader. But Duke is the media symbol of the new Klan. This interview was conducted by Wayne King, Atlanta correspondent of the New York Times. King asks questions Duke is not used to answering.
How do you deal with, or do you get questions like Viola Liuzzo, Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman, the civil rights workers who were, I think, Goodman was beaten to death with a log chain and buried in Neshoba County, Mississippi. The Klan was involved with that. The number of other heinous crimes that the Klan has been. So how do you deal with that sort of thing? Do you call yourself a new Klansman, by the way?
Well, I feel I'm a Klansman in the traditional sense, the real sense, the original sense. First of all, in every great movement or every great revolution or every great change, there's always excesses. Now, I think most of what you call the Klan atrocities and so forth, I think most of it is a media creation, a Hollywood creation. I think the Klan is the oldest racialist organization of the world. It has a record of success. It won its first battle. It's got a beautiful heritage. It's got a tremendous tradition of leadership, and the Klan is what I believe in.
Do you find people are off balance when you say, yes, I am a racist?
I'll answer them this way. I'll say, yes, I'm a racist, but it depends on what definition you use. If you define a racist as a person who believes in oppressing other people or putting other people down or subjecting them to your will, I'm not one. But if you believe a racist is someone who loves his own race and wants to advance his own heritage and culture, I am one.
The Klan burns crosses, in their own words, to rally the forces of Christianity against the ever-increasing hordes of Antichrist and the enemies of the principles of pure Americanism.
Hold it! Hold! That's a hard job. Watch it. Watch it. Now pull it straight. Come back around this way. Around.
The white man's a nigger's friend, if he just realizes. We against intermarriage, we're against social equality. As long as they stay in their own place, the Klan will never just hurt one of them.
When you see them eyes sticking out of them slots, you better watch out. The Klan will get you.
Damn, Roger. Mercy, I ain't the peacemaker, but I'm the horsefly, the voice of the night to the Ku Klux Klan. This be the machine man. Leave this unit, good buddy. Mercy. Over here on the back side of this mountain, it's found in bodacious.
I don't know whether it's straight or not, is it? I can't tell. Is it straight?
I think every white man ought to put on one.
Why?
Straighten this country back like we used to have it.
They buy my snaps.
Is it hard to see in those?
Oh, no.
I feel like a white man.
Did you make these yourself?
No, I can make them. I have made some. But these are from our factory.
That's a junior Klan.
This is a junior order.
What's your name? Everett. How old are you?
13.
What does the junior order do?
Nothing. We try to teach not to
segregate the schools and all that.
We need a head. I got a head.
Everybody look down right onto me. We get close now. I want all your points to kind of meet in the center and kind of look down.
I don't know where my point is.
Okay,
you tell us where they're all pointed.
Okay, you over here.
Not the Cone brothers, you know.
A little bit. Yeah, the Cone heads. A little bit up.
How do you do, Mr. Throw that back over your shoulder.
Fellow Klansmen, fellow white people, it's good to see all of you here tonight. Good to see everybody from all over the country come here to stand up for a movement which is representing the interests of the white majority in America and the white people of the world. So it's good to see this many white people gathered in one place for a change.
You're being taught communist ideals from the time that you enter kindergarten to the time you graduate from college or high school, respectively. And they all teach you that the nigger's the same as white. They may put on a cartoon on Saturday morning in front of your young child, 5 or 6 years old, who doesn't know right from wrong yet, and they'll place a white girl in there hugging with a nigger boy, or vice versa. This is wrong. This is not right, like the Jews and the communists are trying to teach us on the radios and the TVs and in the newspapers. We must conquer the power and all the other brainwashing methods of the communists.
They say, oh, we can't take that. Oh, we can't take that. And you get pushed until they just push you right out of the picture. Our wives are not going to have to walk the streets with rapists. Our children are not going to have to walk the streets with these people. They are not going to have to walk home in fear after cashing out paychecks. We are not going to tolerate it. We have got to dig our heels in somewhere.
We are the people of America that's fighting communism and socialism, and we're fighting to survive as a white, superior people, not inferior race, but the superior race of the world.
The old Klan emphasizes the ceremony of rallies and cross burnings. The new Klan gathers at small meetings like this one at Tom Metzger's house to discuss new strategies and tactics.
They're trying to attract new industry to San Diego. What for? Just to give it to Mexicans?
Sure, exactly.
You know, if we would get the green carders out and the illegals out, there'd be plenty of jobs.
Yeah.
I believe that Escondido is the hottest place in the county. Hardly any blacks in Escondido. They have a hell of a Mexican problem there that's getting really rough. They've had race riots in Escondido. And I feel that that we should direct most of our energies right now in that town.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be working heavily in the cartooning, comic strip type field. We've got our professional cartoonist that's working on new things all the time. The headline is "White Power Comes to Midvale," and it shows a young white boy there being set upon by a gang of blacks trying to rip him off for his lunch money. All of a sudden the Jew principle comes out, and he's giving hell to the white kids for defending themselves. You got to understand these poor blacks. You see, they're poor put-on blacks who are ripping this kid off. All of a sudden the white kid rips open his shirt like Superman, you know. He jumps into the battle, and they tromp the blacks, and the two white kids shake hands, and that's the end of the cartoon. And then we have our membership application, and where they can purchase more of these. We have our 24-hour phone.
How many do we have?
In stock, we have 2,000. Every young kid before school starts is going to have one of them.
Are all the bad guys black in here?
Except the Jew principle.
Well, we ought to almost go with some brown people.
I know what you mean, but
too.
it's a little hard to make them brown on black and white.
I know, if they're not black and white. Right. Okay, well,
You sell things, you pass out things called nigger hunting license, a nigger hunting license.
No, we do not. I do not pass out. I do not.
You do not, but your lieutenants do. Maybe you do. It came from Louis Beam. Louis Beam can deny this if he wants to.
Well, I don't.
But he's your Grand Dragon, isn't he?
No, he's a great Titan.
Says, having paid the license fee, is hereby licensed to hunt and kill niggers, in caps,
during the open season in Texas. This is beautiful, David. I mean, you know, for a guy who does it. It's also, I mean, it's a joke.
But it is a joke, yes, it is satire.
For a guy who says you don't belittle other races, I mean, this is really pretty scurrilous stuff. And you pass yourself off as a new Klansman. Here's another one. There's very violent rhetoric in there, and some very some of the alleged Jewish rat sting pictures of
now that I
Jews
think
looking
is
like rats.
excellent satire, and
you really do.
It's humor, and they use it all the time.
You actually find that
I've
funny?
read cartoons about Klansmen and people in Klan robes. I guess continuously all my life in the newspapers of America and the Mad magazines of America and so forth. And if we can't give that back to some of the opposition, and I don't know what we can do.
I'm just trying to make it clear what it is that you're doing. You talk about not advocating violence, and I think in a very strict, lawyerly sort of way, that's true. But in fact, you sponsor it, you stir up racial hatred. I think there's no question.
The Klan Border Watch was announced by Duke in October '77. He and his 8-man California Klan planned to seal the 1,200-mile Mexican-American border against illegal entry.
Yeah, I got the border watch tonight.
Yeah.
Everybody's supposed to be over here about 7:30. But,
Here, the California Klan prepares to carry out the plan.
we get stuck out there for an extra hour. The shift is supposed to come on at 2, probably won't show up till 3.
Oh, I hope not. It's been long nights all week.
Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke announced his plan last week to put armed squads of Klansmen on patrol along the California-Mexican border.
The damn beaners sat there and they want their illegal buddies to come over here, and then they want them treated fair after they sneak into our country with breaking a law to start with.
Announced the Klan's vigilante tactics.
We are at a crossroads. And when we
George, go give him my I-6, the one with the scope.
what happens to us and what happens to our children tomorrow.
Give me a cleaning rag, too.
And worst of all is the issue when
That's the 6 mil, George.
public officials like the
That's the 6 mil. Go give me the I-6. Carry it right. You know how to carry it down.
They have a history of racism. And this is the real issue.
This anti-Klan protest march was a demonstration of unity much greater than any show of strength by the Klans so far. It was a peaceful demonstration, and no Klansmen were cited. However, customs officials fear that Duke's vigilante tactics will lead to confrontation along the border. Other Klan leaders have publicly denounced Duke and claim he is an outlaw Klansman without real strength. Duke plans a press conference this evening on the border, and Channel 14's Action Cam will cover the event.
Hey, ready to go?
Yeah.
All right.
This Baca dude today was on there and he says, you know, a bunch of violent racists and what have you.
Hey, we're not doing nothing illegal.
No.
I mean, we're not a vigilante group like they say we are.
Okay, I'm going to have you go down in this area down here. See? Now here's the Tijuana border. So you can go right down in through here, see? You'll see the trails down in here where the Mexicans have been coming up through. That's where we're going, is right up in here. Now, they're not looking for us down there.
Yeah.
So you mind your P's and Q's. Check your vehicle out, make sure all your lights and everything's working.
Okay.
You know, because the cops are really after us, man. You know, we're not doing anything illegal. They let the Mexicans do everything they want. But if we let a fart wrong, they're after us.
First stop for the Klan Border Patrol was a press conference called at a remote spot on the border. Because of Duke's notoriety, almost 100 reporters turned up.
234 along the, and that's in California alone.
So Texas says they don't know of anybody out
Well,
there.
we're not. I don't care what you think, whether you think we've got 5 or whether you think we've got 500. When we sponsored this, we didn't believe that it was going to get this kind of reaction. We weren't doing it for the press.
What do you expect this conflict by the border?
Okay, well, let me make a statement first. We're not here to sponsor any violence from our position or the other position. We're not going to be making apprehensions. We're not going to be carrying guns. We're not going to be breaking the law in this respect. A tremendous number of illegal aliens that are flowing into our country. We're causing crimes. They're taking away American jobs. They're hurting this country.
How long are you going to be here?
Well, specifically for me here, as long as the job needs to be done. Tonight, we're going to have a few people out all night. And as far as the border goes, we'll be here 5 months, 10 months, 2 weeks, however it is to get response. How are you doing?
Very good. It's over.
After the press conference, the Klansmen drove around the border on dirt roads, keeping in touch via CB radio.
Unit 22 to all units, we'll be making a left turn, approximately 100 feet up here to the left.
They're vulnerable as hell up here, and this is where we're going to hit them.
Why don't they go to New Mexico? I mean, there's already a state with that name. There are not going to be two of them.
Minute 1905.
Unit 22 to Unit 14, Paul.
Unit 14, do you have your squelch in off position?
Unit 22 to mobile base. This area is all clear. Doesn't seem to be anything out here.
10-4.
10-4, I'm going to hit back in, back to the main road.
I think they're spooked now for a little while. They're spooked. And I don't believe they're going to move when it's this cold up here. I think
just not worth it.
They're going to be down in the low ground.
All right, all cars come in. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. We'll be back out tomorrow.
Okay, we'll see.
Good night, George.
Border Patrol Marshal Robert McCord has confirmed tonight that despite Duke's claims of success, the Klan has not reported a single sighting. McCord expressed surprise as 5,000 undocumented workers cross the border each week.
Duke hopes to build political power with stunts like the Border Patrol. This man, Dale Roish, Imperial Wizard and National Director of the Ohio KKK, has already entered the political arena.
Let's ride.
Roish ran as a Democrat in the 76 West Virginia vice presidential primary and won. He now plans to run for governor of Ohio.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear fellow Americans and Klan's people out there, I will get in and discuss my governorship candidacy for 1978 on a Democratic ticket where me and Brother Carter stand together. Ladies and gentlemen, boy, I see I got a lot of supporters out there, a lot of friendly faces. We are opposed to forced busing for the simple reason it's forced upon the people strictly for racial balance. You sound like a friendly bunch of neighbors. Yeah, I do like you. Beautiful. I like your smiling faces. Yes, I do. Thank you. And I will run on a segregationist platform. And I will run as an American.
Klan's dream of attaining political power meets increasingly strong opposition.
Let's talk about Klan strength. The FBI says 2,500. Their latest estimate was less than 1,000. I think 2 years ago they talked about 2,500 or so. What do you respond to that?
Well, I think the FBI
all
is...
Klan.
Well, first of all, I think the whole concept of the FBI reporting on a political organization, one way or the other, or trying to belittle it or attack it or make it big or whatever, is contrary to the Constitution.
Not if it foments violence.
Well, let's put it this way. No, I don't think so. Right
you don't
now,
think that an organization that advocates violence should not be monitored by?
Oh, I think that an organization that advocates violence should be certainly observed. I don't think that they should be. This COINTELPRO is something else, where they get into and they actually foster violence themselves, where they try to set people up, where they make lies and deceit and so forth.
Now, you've done some of that, David.
Well, in what way?
Do you know of a manual called African Ito?
Yes, I know of it.
Do you know who wrote it?
Yes, I do know who wrote it.
Who wrote it?
Well, some people associated with me. The ads that sold this book were very racist, and the most radical blacks who were opposed to white people or hated white people.
This is in fact a manual that talks about killing whitey or killing honky.
Have you read the manual itself?
Yes. It's purportedly by someone called Muhammad X, but it's actually by your people. By you, in fact.
Well, it's not actually written by me.
Your wife write it?
No.
She holds the copyright.
I believe very strongly that America's headed
Would you like me to read from
a racial conflict. I know all about it. I know what's in it. I know America's headed toward a racial conflict.
You seem to be setting that up by passing yourself off as a black militant and writing a manual on how to kill white people.
But what that book essentially did was get us the names of the most radical blacks in the United States, so that when the time comes that we will know where they are, those who hate white people. That's essentially what it did, and it was successful in that endeavor.
In other words, people who bought this magazine, you take their names so when there's trouble you can go take care of those folks?
Well, we know who they are, let's put it that way. It's just a matter of intelligence.
But the people who, these alleged militant blacks, Muhammad X, is in fact a Klansman. And you're passing a man who is preaching violence off.
It was definitely politically deceptive.
You may remember this. That's you.
Yeah, that's me. Okay.
That's amazing, David.
Well,
the Chicago
it's not amazing. All right, I was young.
You still sell the Nazi literature.
Well, I sell books on all sorts of subjects, but I don't sell Nazi literature as such.
You don't?
No.
The Nameless War, Mein Kampf, Hitler was my friend, Germany's Hitler, the testimony of Adolf Hitler, the Hitler we loved and why, UFOs, Nazi secret weapon, my part in Germany's fight, Dr. Joseph Goebbels.
We sell a long book list, and you're picking out a few of them.
Okay,
and
I can read the others.
We do believe that there should be a... You see, this interview is exactly what I was talking about before. It's a totally negative thing. You're just trying to get me to respond to all these different things.
Well, I am.
And that's all it is. I mean, it's nothing about what we're doing, our philosophy, our ideals.
That's exactly what it's
No, it's not either, because you're picking out something from a long time ago. You're picking out a few books that we sell, and you're distorting it, and you're going to make the people out there think that we're Nazis, and we're not. And you know damn well we're not. We're Klansmen.
What is this picture, David? You. This is you.
What now?
You are selling these things.
I think I'm going to run an 84.
For what?
President.
You're really seriously...
Yeah, on a grassroots basis, yeah, much like Wallace did in the early 60s.
How many people would vote for a Klan political candidate? How many people would secretly support a self-proclaimed racist who talks openly about potentially violent solutions to sweeping social issues like busing, unemployment, and reverse discrimination? In the 20s and again in the 60s, the Klan grew to national prominence. Can it happen again?
All around this land, there's too many people afraid to say where they stand. But I'm not one, and I'm proud to be counted as a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Sooner or later, as you travel this highway, you're gonna have to make your stand. Just decide you're white, then do what's right as a member of the Ku Klux Klan. There ain't no way the government's gonna help you unless your skin is black. But we know what to do, and before we're through, we're gonna boat 'em up and ship 'em back. There's a man in office who don't realize that we can move him home. Yes, we can. Our cause is just so if die we must, we'll be members of the Ku Klux Klan.